Mrs. A is currently a PE teacher at my school. She was previously a kindergarten teacher's assistant for 3 years here, so this is her first year as a full-time employee. To be full-time, she had to take on an additional reading assistant role. When I asked her how teachers typically utilize her reading assistant role, she said that they mostly have her catch up absent students by helping them read the lesson they missed, or she helps teachers tackle fluency assessments. But her main role is her small group of 5 third graders that she pulls for 5 days a week for 45 minutes. We started talking about her comfort level with each, and she stated that she felt the most pressure with her small group because students were getting all of their reading instruction from her. When I asked her about her biggest concerns regarding her small group, she said her main thing was that students don't try to answer questions when they don't immediately know the answer, and also that students were repeatedly getting questions wrong because they aren't looking back in the text. Her main struggle is that she doesn't know how much help to give without giving away the answer. We first looked at our data to gain some more insight. We noted which types of questions students missed the most by looking back at her students' last 3 recent classwork assignments. Overall, students did an excellent job of vocabulary questions and the questions that required students to use their own knowledge to answer. We recognize that students struggle the most with using the text to infer and questions that required students to use the text in multiple places to come up with an answer. Mrs. A recorded her small group session and we met to reflect together. She recognized that when students were not understanding the question, they would not look back in the text. Students struggled with the same types of questions as they did on their classwork, and students continued to do really well with vocabulary questions, and it's evident in how she teaches it to her students of why that's happening. She realized that she didn't do much modeling of how to find answers when students got it incorrect. She would either choose another student or have them look back in the text and just give them kind of a hint as to where it was. As we were talking and reflecting on the video, it was brought to my attention that she was a little bit uncomfortable with the script that is involved with direct instruction. She felt like she forgot how to teach because she felt like she could only follow the script. So I reminded her that she can always add to it, and if students are not understanding the question, she of course can reword it to accommodate them. I asked her if this problem were solved, what would it look like? And Mrs. A responded, students would display greater comprehension of text both orally and in written form. We brainstormed the following list and also did a quick Google search to see about different strategies that we could add to our list. So we came up with modeling, adding an additional shortened text and asking questions, the question-answer relationship strategy, using your instinct, having her move off script more, and think, pair, share, and think aloud. After coming up with our list, we evaluated them and thought of possible outcomes. Mrs. A decided on trying out the question-answer relationship strategy because she thought explicitly identifying the type of questions in conjunction with her modeling the strategy and providing students lots of practice that students should see major improvement. To implement the QAR strategy, Mrs. A pointed out the 4 types of questions that the strategy uses. She provided every student a bookmark to use while they read for reference. She continued to read the lesson as scripted, but additionally asked students to identify the type of question they thought it was, as well as answering the question. She modeled how to find answers in the text and how she identified the QAR questions. Each lesson started with a review of the QAR strategy by having students identify question types. This outline continued for about 2 weeks until we met to reflect again. In that meeting, she brought a recording of a recent lesson that we viewed, and we noticed a lot of student growth based on their oral answers and when looking over their new classwork. The goal over the next 3 weeks was to reduce the modeling as she saw fit and increase student responsibility by referring them to use their bookmark as a resource. Mrs. A had many successes in the implementation of the QAR strategy. All students were able to create their own questions and answers with the QAR labeled. Based on the video reflections and her anecdotal notes, we realized that the students were participating more and displayed more independence in seeking their answers. All students showed an increase in their class average ranging from 3% to 6%. This experience taught me that I can learn a lot from coaching and made me reflect on my own teaching. I genuinely enjoy the coaching role. It's brought me so much joy to hear Mrs. A share her confidence boost with other people. The collaboration between Mrs. A and I was awesome. We established a trusting bond because she understood that I was just truly wanting to help her, and she was so open to trying new things.